Okay. Hello, everyone, and
Adjust some
welcome
audio stuff.
to
Mm-hmm.
episode 2 of The Midnight Society, which is a podcast all about a game that you may have heard of. That's a bad way to say that. No, it's all about a game called Marvel's Midnight Suns coming. Wow, it's hard to believe how soon it's coming from 2K and Firaxis. It literally launches in I can't do math this quickly.
2 days.
Nine hours or something like that. 9 hours if you are in Australia, I believe. I think it launches in 9 hours. So that is what we are looking at. We are here to talk all about that. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Some Yahoo got the idea that we should try out Twitch Guest Star because I don't know. That Yahoo thought it might be an easier thing, and unfortunately, it was not.
In his defense, it worked when we
Oh,
tried it out that
oh, we
first time.
we tested it. We did like an hour-long test, and it worked just fine.
So
But it is a launch week, so nothing is going to work correctly. King Greek and I were talking before the show about how all of his audio has been messed up for the whole week.
yeah,
So, hmm, anything that can go wrong will.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anything that can go wrong will. Well, thank you for joining us, Johnny and Deeper Depths. I really appreciate you guys. If you would, while King Greek is getting set up, tell us a little bit about what you guys do, where people can find you, because we want people to come check out your stuff. So thank you for being on the show, first of all. So let's point people your way a little bit while we're getting set up.
Johnny
ahead, sir.
Rocker, you and me first.
You go ahead, man. You got this.
Just talk at the
Oh,
same time. See what happens. I'm just kidding.
You're right.
well, first of all, I certainly want to say thank you for having me. It's just as much as an honor and a privilege for me to have the opportunity to be on you guys' platform. Of course, I've watched the podcast before, so I just wanted to say kudos on what you're doing. I believe in it. I'm a fan of it. Me personally, I am a content creator both on Twitch and on YouTube. Deeper Depths is my tag pretty much on everything. I think Twitter is the only part that it differentiates just a little bit. It's at the Deeper Depths, but you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Twitch and YouTube. Again, content creator. I'm also a host of a podcast called The Deeper Level, which will be streaming a podcast tomorrow with Tony Todd, who is voice acting Venom for the upcoming Spider-Man 2. So he'll be my guest tomorrow, and certainly looking forward to that. So, come out, hang out with us, and, connect with me on my socials. Would love to chat with you. I'm no stranger to King Greek. We've been chatting for quite some time. Good friend of mine. So again, I'm just, all for it. I'm looking forward to this game. Marvel Midnight Suns, as you can see the Marvel marquee in the back. I'm a huge fan of anything and all things Marvel, of course DC as well, but we're talking Marvel tonight, so let's go Midnight Suns. I am ready. I'm ready. Good to see you, by the way. Revealing too much, and Johnny Rocker, man, I love you guys as content. Watched you guys both for quite some time. Certainly know the names, and it's just an honor to be in good company tonight.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it. Guys, my name is Johnny Rocker. I've been a career-long heavy metal musician. Made the transition into full-time streaming, going on my 3-year anniversary. Started out with a little game called Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Nintendo Switch. Developed a nice working relationship with a couple folks at Marvel Games, which led me to Avengers, and now we are here just hours away from Midnight Suns. And so excited to be here with these folks today. And just kind of being on Team Marvel, trying to get eyeballs on the game and enjoy the ride. So thank you for having me here. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you guys being here. How we looking? How we looking, King Greek? Are we looking good?
I believe so. We're looking pretty decent. We're looking a lot better. We're looking a lot better. We're fixing on like working on things. So
Here we go.
I guess I can go ahead and kick this off. So obviously, we have a couple of bombshells that we're going to be talking about today. But I figure the first one that we can get into after that wonderful introduction that Revealing gave us was Hulk as the final member of the roster. His playstyle and who we all initially expected that 13th character to be. So I'm curious as to who everyone thought that final character was.
I mean, I don't know who if we want to do a specific order, but like with the whole knowing that Wanda was a villain but also a hero, like I had my suspicions. I had my suspicions. So with that happening, I got it. Like I don't know. It feels like cheating to say like I kind of thought it was gonna happen, but that was my guess. I don't know that I had like another guess. Like there, I mean, at that point, like you just start getting into the characters that you want to be the 13th hero. You know what I mean? Like, give me Moon Knight and Daredevil in literally everything, and I'll be as happy as can be. But yeah, no, I was kind of wondering if we were going to get another Wanda with the Hulk. So pretty excited to see that. It was interesting to see some Hulk gameplay on the dev stream the other day.
What about you, Deeper? Who did you have as a decent suggestion? Let me see. I wonder who you were thinking.
Me personally, I was thinking like revealing too much. I was cheering for Moon Knight. I was hoping to have gotten him. However, I will say that I am not dissatisfied with the Hulk. The Hulk is not a huge surprise for me because we already knew that he would play a part in the game, from an enemy's role perspective. So his character model was already there technically. So, um, it's a good fit. I think it's a good move. So it doesn't surprise me that it is the Hulk, but I do love the marketing that's just been built around Midnight Suns altogether. Firaxis has knocked it out of the park, even with the prequel shorts, all of that. But even with their tweet announcing that he was the 13th playable character, they kind of said, hey, you know, um, this is the best kept secret that nobody figured out. They kind of gave props to themselves for this not getting leaked. So I just kind of want to say I like the way that they announced that. So yeah, I'm fine with the Hulk, but my thought would have been Moon Knight.
Always Moon Knight.
And Johnny, what was on your mind, brother?
Man, I thought Moon Knight was likely. Um, but I kind of had my heart set, man. I thought maybe we were going to get a real old school Midnight Suns deep cut. And since we had Robbie Ghost Rider, I was kind of thinking, man, what if we had Johnny Blaze with that
Mm,
Hellfire shotgun? Right? So that
yeah.
was kind of like what I was holding on to. But like I said, I'm still, anytime you get to play the Hulk and Smash, it's always a good time, right?
You
So
know,
be fun.
it's kind of awesome marketing wise that they did that. It was Times Square, right? They did that Times Square billboard
Yeah.
where Hulk is like breaking through the billboard, and then a couple days later, all of a sudden, that's when they announced the 13th character. That's good synergy across all of their marketing. Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, they've been pretty spot on with just about every marketing beat that they've been hitting. But
Yes.
I feel like I'm the only one that like didn't want Moon Knight. Don't get me wrong, I love Moon Knight. He's a great character, but I was honestly more expecting someone along the lines of Damon Hellstrom or even Elsa. Like just more deep in the occult side of Marvel. I mean, hopefully there's still the option for more DLC characters, but I feel like a lot of people are gonna be happy with having Hulk in this game, especially since I think what it's very clear the Hulk is gonna be one of the tank characters, and I know so far he's been great to watch in all of the gameplay that we've seen of him.
It cracks me up
Yeah.
that they're talking about Hulk was like Hulk is so strong that we he doesn't come in until later in the game. Like they didn't say let's make Hulk weaker so he fits in like with the rest of the team or whatever. They just said Hulk is so strong you don't get him until later in the game. And I don't know. I think that's like I think that's a lot of really cool forethought to something like because as superhero fans, like we never want to hear like, oh, we made someone weaker to fit into the team. Like that's
Right.
never
Yeah,
everybody wants to be a superhero. That's what it is.
Right.
because I believe what is it? I believe he definitely has some unique mechanics to him. Like for example, his rage meter. For anyone that doesn't know how that works in game, most tank characters like Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Wolverine, they have taunt options, which forces enemies to target you so that they can go after your teammates. Hulk's damage increases the more he gets hit, and you can just pretty much abuse that by using taunt to just continuously get attacked. And I believe what he currently has the biggest health pool out of everyone on the roster so far. So I
Exactly.
feel like it's definitely going to come down to either him and Cap in terms of who's the best tank character. I don't know. I play because I, I might have my money. I might have my money on Hulk, but like Captain America is very useful with the amount of block that he can throw out.
Mm,
So it's
yeah.
yeah.
I think like this is not exactly on the topic, so I'm sorry for deviating from your outline because you put a lot of work into this. Well, I guess we put a lot of work, but you put a lot of work. You know what I mean? But like I am really excited to see the crazy stuff that the creative Marvel community comes up with in terms of like chaining abilities and just the ridiculous stuff they're going to figure out, man. I found one card combo that when I
Mhm.
think about it, like when I'm not playing, when I think about it, I like I get a little tingle because it's just like such it doesn't seem like it should work and it's really freaking cool. And I actually the first time I did it, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. These two cards shouldn't work together like this because it's too powerful. And it
Yeah.
worked, and I was like, oh, oh yeah. So like
Nice.
I'm really excited to see the ridiculous things that people come up with, and I don't know. I really like that they showed off the Hulk rage meter building because
Mhm.
I don't know. I think that was something, at least from previous marketing, that I didn't really like. The way that sort of system works didn't really
Yeah.
come clear. Like, they've talked a little bit about Captain Marvel's, where she goes binary and stuff like that. So seeing those systems with those characters is really cool.
Yeah. For players who like, yeah, I think I said this before. For players who definitely like to take more of a risk, we're gonna love people like Ghost Rider. I had this conversation with another friend of ours, the June. I've done it myself. I think the highest I've maybe gotten on this specific card was like 2,000 maybe. But Ghost Rider's ability, Penance there, right?
Hmm.
How that card works is you consume a certain amount of his health to deal damage for such and such, and you gain 4 damage for each point of health that it takes. The highest that June got was 3,153 on penance there.
Yeah.
So there's definitely gonna be a lot of like deck theory and crafting that I feel like a lot of Avengers players coming over are definitely gonna be able to enjoy because I mean we've all played Avengers. How often have we seen people just like come up with builds that ends up one shotting Claw in the very first phase? Now
Yeah.
it's gonna be different, but funny watching them try that here on Ultimate 3 because Ultimate 3 is a mode where you can die in the first turn if you're not careful. So yeah, no, that's definitely gonna be fun to watch. But moving over, oh yeah, also we had a comment from Christopher Odd. Plus you can boost Ghost Rider. So yeah, so his Drain Souls ability, I believe every time he gets a certain amount of kills, his passive amount of health for that match goes higher, and there's no cap to it. I believe it continues to goes higher every time you hit that cap. So he's definitely up there. Let me see. So the next topic that we have here, right? In terms of the story, so like we all love. we've all loved the story for Marvel's Avengers, you know, Kamala being the heart of it all. This is a much different thing that we're used to, right? Because it's like we're not watching the story through the eyes of someone else. This is the story of you and your character, and you are making your own choices, right? There can be positives and negatives to friendships with people. You can make choices that might get you good favor with Iron Man, but it might land you in bad favor with Magic, so to say, right? So like what are your opinions so far on just the whole created character aspect and how much is going to impact the story? Because you gotta remember like 50% of the game is life around the Abbey. Like everything you do adds up to your characters being more powerful every single day you go out into battle. Let's start with you, Deeper, since you know you're the newcomer here this episode.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Personally, I like the diversity of making that choice, because giving people the option to build their character and giving people the option to have the game affected by the personal choices that they make doesn't feel like a linear path. So I think that it's a really great choice to do that. Now, I have not played the game. I didn't get a test copy of the game, unfortunately, but I think I saw in a dev stream one time where they stated something to the effect, and I'm pretty sure Revealing and King, y'all can confirm this, that difficulty of the game unlocks or gets harder based on how well you do in particular fights. So again, having that interaction, different choices you make in the Abbey, like you said, landing favor with one character, but then going in a different direction. We call that a fame system. I'm a big Final Fantasy person, so I think Final Fantasy, as far as it relates to strategy and RPG, is the blueprint. So a lot of games are influenced from them, even with the whole uh, Ghost Rider character and the way he plays. He seems like a Dark Knight, in the sense that he invests heavily into his damage output, but he pays a penalty for it. So again, when I hear these different mechanics, I automatically revert back to Final Fantasy and match that up. So having the option to do what you can do in the Abbey and win a fame system with a certain character and lose fame with another, I'm all for it. Creating a character, because no two playthroughs are the same. So I think that's really unique, and I'm excited. I can't wait to jump in.
Okay, okay. Before we move on, I do want to go ahead. So for the people that are probably going to be watching this later on, we are live streaming this, but I do want to clear this up. So I did make a mistake with Ghost Rider. Thank you to Christopher Odd, a good friend of ours, for correcting me. It can only that his health increase can only happen twice during a mission. There is a cap to it. So thank you, Christopher, for correcting me on that. As I've said in the chat, I kind of went off on a tangent. But Johnny, what are your thoughts on the topic?
I tell you, the thing that I'm excited for was um, when you're playing superhero games, you have that fantasy being the other superheroes. And then you had games like, for me, it was City of Heroes way back in the day, the MMO, where you got to make your own superhero and your own power set and all that kind of stuff. And I really kind of like the idea of your hunter can be exactly what you want it to be. And how they talked about how Hunter actually has the most wide open skill set. So there's going to be so much, creativity involved there, right? So you may be have a group of 10 friends that you play the game with, and everybody is going to be doing something wildly different, right? It's things like that are interesting, to me that we get to tell our own stories within the Marvel universe. Having your favorite superheroes right there, I just think that's awesome. Very excited.
And revealing, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's funny that like the thought that immediately popped in my head when you asked this question is like a tale as old as time storytelling convention is that if you have a group of people who are like a close insular group of people and you want to tell a story about them, one of the best ways that you can do it is by taking an outsider as like the primary character and putting that outsider, like, showing them entering the group for the first time. So you think of movies like, I don't know, Animal House, whatever. Like, you have a character that is joining the fraternity or whatever for the first time. Like, it's just a storytelling convention, to be honest. And that was the first thought that popped into my head. And then when you asked this question, you're like, deeper depths. As the new guy here, why don't you go first? And I was like, holy crap, he's doing it. So no, I don't know. Like, even outside of the combat, first of all, Johnny is right. Like, the I would be surprised if people play the hunter the same. Like, there is a little bit of everything in the hunter from what I've seen, and I think we're gonna see so many different variations. And we're gonna see build videos. We're gonna see you should play your hunter this way because it's the best. But I don't know that a lot of those videos are gonna be the same. There's gonna be a lot of you should play your hunter this way because it's the best, because there's so many different things you can do. So on top of all that, it's also just a great way to tell a story. It's a great way to tell a story. Like, people who don't know who Nico is, introduce people to Nico through a character who also doesn't really know who Nico is. I don't know. I just think it's a really good thing. So, and we just get to be a hero in the Marvel universe for the first time. So that's pretty awesome.
Hmm. All right, so another bombshell, right? We're gonna go ahead and move over to the second part of this that I want to talk about with everyone essentially. Today's the 30th. As we all know, the score reviews have come out today. I'm am I correct to assume that everyone here and also everyone in the chat has seen them, has seen the reviews? So if I'm if I correctly recall, there were a lot of people that were what's the word I'm looking for? There were a lot of people that were assuming that this game was going to kind of go downhill simply just because of the game having cards.
A
Yet
lot of skeptics. A lot of skeptics.
Yeah.
so far the game has ended up being one of what the higher reviewed games that we've had this
It's
year.
it's one of the better reviewed games of the year. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like I
eight.
haven't seen I
Yeah.
haven't like maybe like besides like one or two, I haven't really seen like that many negative reviews. Like what like how do you guys feel about it? Because I think so far as Metacritic currently has it at an 84, I believe.
Oh, is it really an
Yeah.
84? That means it's gone up since I pulled it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Johnny, what are your thoughts on it?
Um, I tell you, I mean, the internet is always a fickle thing, right? People want to love something before they want to hate it, or vice versa. So, like, I really wasn't shocked because this wasn't the standard beat 'em up that everybody kind of knows. But the thing that got me on board was the first time I heard the name Firaxis, that company and its lineage and its founder, Sid Meier. That's all such a deep grained part of my DNA and so many of my favorite gaming memory. I was just like, I don't care what this is, it'll be great. You know what I mean? Like, um, there are just certain companies out there that I feel like just have that pedigree, right? That they take their time, they do things right, they put out a quality product. If there is a problem, it gets addressed, it gets fixed, timely. So to me, it's like just being somebody on the outside. I saw those reviews go up today, and I just could not help but smile. Like just happy for the folks involved. That's the ultimate validation, for them. So I'm soaked, man. I just can't wait for the world to get their hands on it and do the things, find out for themselves.
Deeper, where do we stand on this as of right now?
Um, I'm with Johnny on the fact that when it was first announced that Firaxis was going to be the ones developing the game, just knowing what they've done with SOCOM and how great of a game that was, like I knew that they wouldn't touch this unless they had a creative vision. Because again, this is their brand, so their reputation literally is on the line when you touch a game like this. So I just knew that if anybody could do this style of game justice, that they were the right company to do it. Now, of course, the reviews to me were great. Of course, like I said, I was on board, so it didn't take the reviews for me to have buy-in on this game. Like I was getting it no matter what, because whenever you say strategy, turn-based RPG, I mean that's my feel. Like if there was no other type of games, if somebody told me, hey, as a content creator, you can only play one type of game, what is it going to be? I would choose RPGs all day. But the only review that I checked for was IGN, because IGN has been so, to me, hit and miss this year. I really wanted to see what they had to say about it, because I mean, think about it. They gave Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 a 6. They gave Gotham Knights a 5. So I just felt like IGN had gotten to the point to where they had reviewed so much, maybe they were burnt out, and so they were just throwing scores out there, because a lot of the games they've given negative scores to me personally, I didn't think deserved the scores they gave it. So for them to be as critical as they are and they gave it an 8, that's saying a lot.
And like I was like definitely one of the funnier things that I've seen today. Like it's kind of similar to what Christopher Odd has said. Like the skeptics are now the ones who have cherry picked from reviews that didn't like the side combos, and a lot of like it's been very mixed. Again, the reception has been very positive. The people that have not been liking it, however, I've been seeing them like just in disbelief, saying that, oh, this has to be the honeymoon period. Someone had to have paid them off. There's no way that this game that looks like a PlayStation 3 game and has cards scored better than Gotham Knights and various other games that have released in the past couple of months. It is just like it's simply it is what it is. Like the game is not a it's not a bad game. This is what happens when you get a game from a developer that is very in tune with what they're doing and they know exactly what it is they want to make. Now, there have been people that have had differing opinions on Life in the Abbey and how sometimes all of that dialogue can essentially kind of cut into gameplay. However, there are some people that have an issue with it, some people that don't. I myself, like I like it, I don't mind it. There's even a specific, I don't know if revealing or Christopher has found it, but there's a specific option in game where you can kind of tease Peter about his Bully Maguire days.
Oh, nice.
Like, yeah, there's a specific line where you can tease him about that. So like it's great. But the combat is the shining jewel of the game. So like based off that alone, the game was at the very least was going to get a decent review because it's a new like this type of thing isn't new. But what Fire Exorcist did, they've managed to make it feel like fresh and reinvigorating from the strategy games that we have been getting from the past year or so. Revealing, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, my man Christopher Odd in the chat took exactly something that I was gonna say. Because I definitely agree. Like trying the shotgun approach to reviews is almost never a good way to get a good impression of what you're going to feel about something. It's the same thing with movie reviews. Like if you can find like a Roger Ebert or whatever that like thinks about movies the same way you do, read his reviews because he's going to give you the best impression of what you're going to think about a game or a movie or a book or whatever. Like it doesn't matter if I read a review of someone like from someone who skips all the side quests and doesn't go explore when they have the opportunity, that's not going to be my experience of the game. So their review isn't really going to match my feelings. So honestly, like I don't know, man. Like I am pretty skeptical about like reading. This is a terrible thing to say as a content creator, but I'm pretty skeptical about reading opinions on the internet at this point because I think that people probably made up their like a lot of people made up their mind about this game before like from the very first trailer. Um, there are people like who were just gonna hate it, and they really were. There's just no getting around that. So I don't know. I would like seeing the reviews. Like the honestly, the only reason I know the Metacritic scores is A, because people came in chat today and told me, and B, because I knew we were doing this and it would probably be good to actually be prepared for the podcast. But um, no. So yeah, no. Like I was actually seeing the numbers be that high. Like I was surprised, not because the game doesn't deserve it, but because it seems like it is very hard to make the gaming community happy at this point. And I say that with the most love for the gaming community because I'm a member of the gaming community. But there is a loud segment that values being upset. And
Yeah,
like that doesn't mean it's the whole community. It doesn't mean it's even reflective of the whole community or anything. But like, it's just it's times are tough, and like it's a lot easier to be upset about a game than it is to like be anything else. So I don't know. I'm always hesitant to like read reviews and stuff because I try my best to limit negative energy, but seeing those numbers being that high and being like, oh man, these people have worked for years on something that they really believe in, and people are saying good things about it. That's got to be the best. That's got to be the best feeling. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely always a great thing when you can see a developer team get the praise that they deserve when it's clear that they've put legitimate care into this game. Like it wasn't just like a simple thrown out project. Like they put a lot of heart and care into it. And like you were saying, revealing there's a lot of people that just choose to like hate for fun because hating is the popular thing nowadays, especially with gaming. But at the same time, one issue that a lot of people do have, especially when it comes to like checking out other games and reviewers, especially, they tend to let their favorite content creator or reviewer influence their own opinion too much over the game, and then that ends up garnering the hate and disrespect that ends up coming from that place because there have been plenty of people that have hated on a game beforehand and then after playing it for themselves or seeing a positive light on the game, their opinion started to switch and they ended up trying it out or eventually ended up getting it. We've been seeing that same thing with Midnight Suns as the game has been like being promoted more and more. It's literally being shoved in your face. They're seeing like very positive opinions about it. You're seeing more people kind of say, "Oh, this game, oh, like is Midnight Suns a sleeper hit? Do I need to check out Midnight Suns now? I'm kind of curious." Like also they've been using like I know Johnny probably appreciates this. They've been using Metallica in a
Oh yeah.
very lovely way. So that's that's always a plus. But
Oh
it's
yeah.
just I feel like if people can get that out of their system, they can enjoy. They can tend to enjoy things a lot more. Johnny, I don't believe we've gotten your stance on this yet, have
Now, the thing that's kind of funny, I mean, it I watched exactly what you guys were just saying play out over a 5 hour span on Twitter today about another Marvel game that just released content. Um, I
It's Snap.
literally,
It's Marvel
right?
Snap, right?
Yeah, that's
Marvel
it.
Snap.
you? Yeah,
I
Yeah,
woke
yeah,
up at 7 a.m. To somebody that I follow that had collected every angry thing, like, oh, another L for Avengers and all, blah, 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 blah. And then by lunchtime, it was, man, that Bucky skin do be looking good, though. And then by 4 o'clock, there's the picture from the PlayStation of them downloading the game. Like, well, I guess I'm going to check it out. And then right before we went live, like, man, Winter Soldier's awesome. And it's like, there you go. Just always, 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 always do your own homework, have your own experience, Um, but I do recommend go check out different content creators, right? I mean, it's a shameless Twitch, plug, but I feel like we've almost taken the place of a lot of gaming journalism now. To where people, instead of going and looking to see what an IGN's going to say, they go right to that Twitch directory and start skimming through. So find a creator that will answer questions, right? That are just presenting the gameplay for what it is, and see for yourself, right?
yeah. And this isn't really a dig at anyone. I feel like that definitely can be chalked up to for creators who simply like don't care and don't really have like the time to lie unless they're trying to push and promote something, you're more than likely going to get a more honest version of a review from them than you would get from an actual publisher, which just like further
Absolutely.
tacks on the Johnny's whole point, which completely makes sense. Now, moving over into our next topic. So, the prequel shorts, all right, now we have been getting that have been showing us the formation of the Midnight Suns prior to the start of the game. We got to see each and every character's background and just exactly what their story was fitting into the Suns. Well, one of the questions here would be for each of you: who was your favorite member of the prequel short so far? Like, which one did you like the most? Which one did you feel was like the most impactful to that character? Let's go ahead and start with Deeper. Since you were gonna say it, I know you was gonna talk first, Deeper. I saw you, so you might as well go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. I was on it. I was on it. Since I'm the newcomer, I felt it was coming.
That's it.
Me personally, I'm going with Nico, and the reason being is because again, she is kind of figuring herself out. And so I just think that's a unique element of her particular story, and then also how it was presented that one of the developers, I think, has a daughter named Nico. So I just feel like a lot of love and passion was put into her particular storyline in the game. So to me, that's been my favorite so far.
And Johnny, what about you?
Man, it had to be my boy Robbie, Ghost Rider. Um, I was one of those people that absolutely lost my mind for Agents of Shield. What was it, season three, where we get
Yes,
got that
Yep.
Ghost Rider storyline, and then there was a show coming, and I was so excited, and then there wasn't.
I
And like
was.
I was crushed because Gabriel Luna was amazing in that role. So I am just all about seeing Robbie getting his time to shine. If you've been reading this latest Avengers run that started in 2018, he is a core member of the Avengers, being a badass. So it's like just all about it. Can't wait
If
to see more.
If I might add, if you think he's lying, that man saved the world single-handedly by taking over a celestial's body and running the fade with one of the dark celestials. Goat like Robbie definitely saved the earth in his first outing with the Avengers. That man deserves some respect on his name.
Oh yeah.
Revealing, how about you? Which one was your favorite?
Animation style. I mean, my favorite prequel, I think, was the Salem Sisters. Like, the animation was just so cool in that one. Also, if like anybody, if 2K, if you're listening and if you can contact the person who did like the character intros for all your prequel shorts, I'll take one of those. If you're listening. Those things are the way the character intros were animated in all those prequel shorts is just amazing. I love it. Anyway, I don't know. Ghost Rider though. Ghost Rider had my favorite prequel short though. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, animation wise, I thought the Salem Sisters was pretty sweet, but the Ghost Rider one was great.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say mine is definitely Nico because I didn't like well I mean what we come to know that Nico is definitely the leader of the Midnight Suns, the younger ones, but seeing as how like they were all pretty much caretaker brought them in, but they still were not a team. They were essentially off in their own world. Like Blade was always also were brooding. Magic never left her room. Nico was pretty much in awe of Wanda every time she was around her, and Robbie was just like homesick, like 24/7. So seeing her like take more of a leadership role and getting more in touch with everybody and like bringing them out of their comfort zones. Which after playing the game now, seeing how they acted in the prequel shorts is like totally different because you get to watch those relationships grow and you get to learn just how much the younger team specifically cares about one another. And I feel like that's a very great thing. So like the storytelling, it is a bit campy, but I mean, it's like it's a good campy, right? Because it's Marvel. We all know what it is. But the story so far has been very, very decent for me, and I have been enjoying it very much.
Is anybody thinking about picking up? Sorry to jump in, but is anybody thinking
Go
about
ahead.
picking up the prequel novel? I didn't know about that until today, but I added it to my Christmas wish list. People are always like, "What should we get you for Christmas?" And I'm like, "I don't know. The things I want are like PC parts. Nobody's gonna buy me a PC. Like my mom's not gonna buy me a new GPU or whatever." So it was nice to be like, "Yeah, yeah, buy me this $20 book. I'll take that for Christmas." So I'm pretty excited.
So now we're going to get into the second part of our block, our game segment. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with this one. So
Uh
this is called this game is something we like to call side effects. Now, the way
Okay.
this works is we're going to pick a specific person, and then that person is going to choose which member of the Midnight Suns, that everybody, the entire roster, they're going to pick which member of the roster whose powers or abilities they would like to inherit. Everyone else is going to have to try to give the worst side effects to that power as possible. And then the main person is going to have to pick which side effect they would rather have. So we're going to go ahead and start with Johnny.
All right. Let's see. I mean, I almost feel like it's a cop out, but my answer would probably be Iron Man, right? It's not necessarily the power; it's the intellect, the genius, the the desire to make the world a better place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I got handed an Iron Man comic in seventh grade, man, and I've been Team Stark ever since. So, you know, I uh, I'd love to have the suit and be able to do things to help folks, right? So that'd be me.
Oh, I did
All
want
right.
to say sorry. So last
Go
time
ahead.
we did this show, we said which character could we like lose or whatever, and I was
Mm-hmm.
being a little bit of a troll, and I said Iron Man, and I just want to
Oh,
point out, I admit it, I was wrong. I was
all
wrong.
right. Well, on that
Iron
note,
Man did not Iron Man did not deserve that, and I regret it.
all
And
right. Well, on that note, I'll see you later.
Oh no, he left. Wait, I think I have to.
I'm,
Okay, no, he's still here.
I'm,
no, no, seriously though. Like I was just messing around last time. So so now we got to say like the worst side effects.
The worst side effect that you could think of for Johnny. I already have mine. I'm gonna I had mine the moment he said Iron Man. I'm gonna
Do
let
it.
you guys
Do,
go first.
no, no, do it. If you got it, if you got it right off the bat, take it.
So he can't read. Okay, so he's super intelligent, but he cannot read blueprints. So the first time he builds something, no matter what it is, it blows up in his face.
that's true. That's true. Not wrong.
Hmm.
I would say, the catch 22 would be, although he has great intellect and brilliance, there's a certain arrogance that comes with that, and he may get
Absolutely.
blinded by getting in that mode that, hey, I'm Tony Stark, so I'm automatically right, you know
Right.
um and maybe he may fail to hear another good point of view that's wise on how the team should proceed.
Ooh, ooh,
I just
ooh.
want to point out he is talking about original sin Tony Stark, evil one, extremist, the symbiote, like the endosim Tony Stark. That's what he just described.
I
And
mean,
like I said, I'm old, but like if anybody really wants to get into who Tony Stark is mentally, you need to go back and read Bottom of a Bottle, right? Like that was Stan Lee telling his own personal inner demons with his own alcoholism through Tony Stark, and you actually see through the ego, right, and who he is, and how he's that scared little kid, that wants to make his dad proud, and but definitely recommend, man, if you've got Marvel Unlimited and stuff. I think that's all on there, but go read that. But sorry, I was interrupting the game.
no,
No
no,
problem.
no. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Let, let,
brought you on here. You
let
speak
the
your mind. You are
conversation
free.
flow. Let the
Yeah,
con-
Absolutely.
let the conversation flow.
we're gonna
Also,
be waiting on you
I
though.
didn't mean to chase you away, Johnny. I was saying that I was wrong about Tony being the player that I
I was
dropped.
just
So
teasing.
so
I was just
okay.
teasing.
So here's my negative. So you are Tony Stark. You can build the world's ultimate super suits, but they're all just a little bit too tight and itchy. They always itch, no matter what you do. You can't stop them from being itchy all the time.
I just figured you guys would go for the easy answer, but like Tony Stark's rich, and his biggest problem would be the IRS, right? Like,
My original idea was going to be that since he always envisions what the future is going to be, like he just can never sleep because he's always so anxious about what could possibly happen. But that felt a little too real, so I went with something a little bit lighter.
The IRS is another superhero's problem. Nope.
that's Blade's problem, right? For real.
Yeah. So, Johnny, which side effect are you going with?
What side effect?
You gotta choose your evil.
Yeah, for me, you can't read blueprints. Revealing is you have itchy armor that you can't fix, and deeper, you have an ego and you don't listen to reason.
If you've read Iron Man over the years, I mean, it's deeper all day long. Tony's ego and his ability thinking that he knows better and can do better has led to some of the biggest mistakes in Avengers history, right? We're getting ready to see some of that with Kang. And that's something that I really, really hope we get RDJ back for, because if they go by the comics, there are very specific things that happen with Iron Man and Cap that set this whole thing off years and years and years ago, right? So I'm really hoping we get to see that.
All right. So deeper, it is your turn. Go ahead and pick someone from the roster whose powers you want to inherit.
Give me Blade.
Yeah.
Give me Blade.
All right.
He's as the Daywalker. He's got the best of both worlds. Humans, vampires. His fighting IQ is, just off the charts. I think that if I had to inherit somebody's powers, it probably would be his.
You can never take that trench coat. That's mine. You can never take that trench coat off. Like after years and years, and it smells like rotten milk and mold and nastiness. You can never take that trench coat off. Never.
You know what
That's
though?
mine.
I didn't think about the trench, and something else was actually said. I'm gonna see if y'all revisit it, but something else was said that would definitely be my negative if it doesn't get revisited.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead, reveal. What you got?
Oh man. You have to drink blood, but it always tastes bad. Just it's just a gross flavor. Like whatever flavor you don't like, that's it. So that's what it is. That's my negative.
I once again, man, I think I'm gonna go old school, and I'm gonna refer to the origins of the character, and Stan would come up with these really interesting mental conundrums to base a character on, or what is this person's flaw, and Blade from very early on never knows where he belongs. Am I a vampire? Am I a human? Who am I? Am I this monster? And he forever feels alone, right? And when you go through his comic history, every time he gets about that close to somebody, horrible things happen, right? So I think if you stick to the Blade mythos, that'd be a hard way to live for sure.
So which one are you going with, deeper?
Man, it was touched on, and the funny thing is I was thinking about it because of course there is the Blade of comics, and then there's the Blades of the movies, which Wesley Snipes branded it, and I think it was Johnny that said it earlier, but the thought it crossed my mind about the IRS.
That's right.
But let me tell you, I'm more afraid of them in real life than anybody. So I definitely don't want those problems.
The Joker's afraid of the IRS. If you wanna
Mhm.
go first.
There's
Hey,
no worse time in a content creator's like a full-time content creator's life than the quarterly tax time where you're like, did I forget something? Did
Right,
I?
1099.
Oh
mhm.
man, it's just the
I mean,
Yeah,
worst.
no.
look at Al Capone, right? The most powerful gangster in the 20s, and
Absolutely.
it was the Treasury Department that took him down over taxes. So there you go.
Oh, we could have
Okay.
gone with your blade, but you don't want to open your eyes for that one specific shot. What was that? Which Blade movie was that? Where Wesley Snipes
What?
didn't want to open his eyes, so they had to animate eyes on his eyelids.
Oh, I don't know, but that's
Oh,
hilarious.
It
Wait,
was
that's a thing? What?
there was one of the Blade movies where he didn't want to open his eyes for a scene, and so it's very
yeah.
funny when you see it. It's very funny. We just watched all the Blade movies like a couple months ago, so.
Nice.
Okay. Well, it is your turn, Raven. So go ahead and pick someone from the roster.
I choose you. Oh man, I don't know why I said that. I didn't have an idea. Let me think. Let me think. I should have been thinking about this before, but I was thinking about negatives. I am going to go. I don't know. Doctor Strange sounds fun. Let's go with Doctor Strange. I want to pick a choice that I wouldn't normally go with.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay. Um, well, I think the biggest thing that stands out for me is the love of your life dies.
I
Oh
love this
man,
reveal.
I'm not gonna go with that one. Okay.
Wow.
Oh,
Michaela,
love what you're
are
doing.
you okay? Okay, she said something in chat, so I think we're still good.
That's right.
Whew.
Okay. Wow, that threw me off. Why has death been a constant topic lately? That threw me off.
I should have picked one where someone could say IRS. That man.
There you go.
Yeah, that would definitely be that's the ultimate negative, you know.
Okay, what do you
I
guys
can't
got? Ooh.
I can't think of one for Strange. I'm stumped. I'm stumped.
Uh, for me, I think it's got to be curiosity, right? How much crap has Doctor Strange gotten himself into? To where they say, no, you don't read this book. You know, no, we don't do that spell. No, we don't talk to this person in this realm. And he's like, but I got to find out. You know, like
Yeah.
that's going to be the thing, the propensity for trouble, right?
Mm. You're illiterate and you can't read. Therefore, like 70% of the Sanctum Sanctorum is useless to you.
Ooh,
That would suck.
that's like a Twilight Zone one. That's like,
Yeah.
oh man. By the way, Johnny, have you or Deeper or King, have any of you read Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange run?
No.
It's like within the last 10 years or so, it's real wacky. Uh, Bachelot did the art, and it's like, oh man, it is so weird and wild. I love it.
Yeah, I love Jason Aaron.
Well, I'm not gonna take Deeper Depths because, whew, still sweating from that one. I think I'm gonna go with Johnny's. I think I'm gonna go with
There you go.
Johnny's. I think it's the Curiosity. I think Curiosity killed the cat.
Yep.
Oh wow,
Okay.
I did not read my wife's comment in chat when I sorry, that was just coincidence. We spend so
Great
much time
minds.
together. We share a brain.
Well, if I had to choose, 'cause I guess it is my turn now. Also by the way, for anyone that because just in case you guys don't know, me and Revealing Too Much, I've had access to the game for the past couple of weeks. So we are going to be taking questions that we are allowed to answer. So if you guys got something you want to get off your chest, go ahead and drop it in the chat below, and then we'll get into that in the next segment. But back to the game. I feel like I mean, most people would expect me to say Nico, but honestly, I wouldn't mind having Captain Marvel's power. I wouldn't mind having I wouldn't mind having the power cosmic. More so just because I want to leave. I just want to leave and go, and go somewhere else. Also, being like a literal walking tank has its advantages. I can just go into bar fights and start shit for no reason.
All right. So the negative is you're Captain Marvel. You can leave whenever you want, but for every 10 minutes that you're gone, you get another missed call and voicemail. That's the ultimate negative in this day and age. A missed call and a voicemail. Ooh, can you believe that?
Wow.
I know. Sorry to come out swinging like that.
My mother would kill me. Let me see, Johnny Deeper. What you guys got? What you guys got on the brain?
All right, go ahead, Deaver.
Oh. Um. Okay, so you're Captain Marvel. You can have the cosmic powers,
Mm-hmm.
everything that she's fully capable of, but you can't play video games ever again.
Oh man.
Ooh,
Oh man.
that's brutal. That's brutal.
Oh damn!
hmm You got to think about that one for a minute. I'm gonna go with every time I see you, man. You've got some kind of really really cool headwear going on. So my thing is every time you go binary, you're gonna disintegrate whatever you got on your head.
Oh.
So
Oh man. Wow, we really left you with some choices here, didn't we? Oh my goodness.
I gotta go with Johnny. I gotta go. I'm not taking my mask off. I gotta go with Johnny.
gotta protect that lid collection.
Oh, that's real good. That was a
Okay.
good one.
So, oop, my headphone fell. Oops, sorry. So,
Oh man, he laughed his headphones off. That's
so,
how good you got him, Johnny. He laughed his headphones right off.
Played, well played.
so that's gonna we'll play. We'll play. So that's gonna go ahead and bring us to the end of this block. We're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna see what questions are in the chat so far. When is the Switch version coming?
Answer that for Mr. Odd.
The Switch version will be here once McDonald's brings back all day breakfast.
Wait, isn't that back? Did I miss it? Is it gone
Not
again?
it, not everywhere. It's only in certain locations.
Wait,
Only in
what?
certain locations. Yes,
Mm.
that will be back when McDonald's brings back all day breakfast. Because I don't know if y'all have ever had a triple McGriddle. There's like sausage, egg, cheese, and then you got like two waffle buns that are like soaked in syrup that are the
Oh
buns
man.
themselves. It's diabetes in theory, but it still tastes very good. Deeper knows what I'm talking about. It costs like $4, but it's worth it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, my blood sugar went up 10 points just hearing about it. So
I would still eat it right now. I don't care. I got no.
Okay, AJ, could you explain the genre and gameplay loop in Midnight Suns? I'll let reveal and take that one.
Okay, so think of it. I was gonna say think of it as two separate games, but that's not very fair. So, it is a tactical combat game that uses cards to in place of abilities. Not in place of cards to represent. That's the word. You ever just have that word that you can't think of? It's a
Yep.
tactical game that uses cards to represent abilities. So that way, before you go into combat, you get to choose what abilities you take for the heroes that you take. You get to choose the heroes that you take. All your abilities are shuffled like a deck of cards and dealt out to you. That's the combat aspect. When you're not in combat, you are uh, quite literally hanging out with heroes, trying to befriend them. You are leveling them. You are leveling your abilities. You're fixing up your base of operations. You're uncovering mysteries. Like that's not like a very good description of the genre. I mean, it's a tactical RPG if you want to like get down to an actual like genre. But the gameplay loop is your character wakes up in the morning. You do whatever leveling you need to do. So, unlocking new cards, leveling up cards, doing those sorts of things, training, that kind of thing. sending heroes out on hero ops, which are like missions that you don't see, but they come back with new abilities, that sort of thing. Then you select a mission from the mirror table, and when you come back, you do evening stuff like hangouts and talking to ghosts. and then you go to sleep and wake up and do it again. And that, like, I'm being a little like flippant, I guess, but that is legitimately the gameplay loop where it everything is kind of cycled in a day. So before combat, you do leveling. After combat, you do kind of like friendship stuff or exploring if you want to. You can choose when you go to sleep. You can do as much as you want before you go out on a mission or before you go to sleep. But that's the general loop.
Yeah, the combat is like extremely similar to games like there is a specific card game called Obelisk. I can't remember the full name of it, but it's something something Obelisk, and also Slay the Spire. Very similar to that, although a lot more flashy, a lot more intuitive. And the life aspect is very similar to games like Fire Emblem and Persona, especially Persona because it did take inspiration from those games. Very quickly looking back at the chat, yes, the McGriddle. That is the name of the sandwich. That is what I'm talking about. It's the McGriddle. Think of the pancake bread. It is the McGriddle.
Hey,
Also,
McDonald's, we are accepting sponsorships for this podcast. If you would like to
Right,
fund
right.
the future of the Midnight Society podcast, shop at McDonald's and just shout the code King Greek at your cashier. I don't know what they'll do, but it might work.
and if you shout revealing too much, you'll get an item off the secret menu. It might come
Yeah,
with a couple of
if you
cuss
shout
words, but
revealing too
continue.
much, you'll get an item off the secret menu, and that item is a free trip to jail. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know if I would describe it as roguelike necessarily, but yeah, there's story RPG stuff, there's tactical combat, and I mean honestly, the card system feels like a combination of like a, I don't know, like the abilities feel in a lot of ways. I was gonna say Slay the Spire, but I guess that's kind of a roguelike, so maybe that's a bad comparison. But
I mean, like it shares like similarities in terms of how the system works, but
yeah,
but it doesn't mean it's roguelike.
right, yeah. So I don't know.
Uh,
I think a lot of the concerns I've seen about the gameplay is like I won't get to use my abilities a lot, or I'll never see the cards that I really want. And in my experience, you pretty much get your best cards every time you're
yeah.
out on combat. So
Unless the RNG hates you, which is
yeah, unless
definitely
the
a
RNG
thing.
hates you, or unless you dominate in the first round.
Yeah,
Like if you
because RNG guys are a real thing. But moving on. So Christopher, you guys come up with any cool hero pairings? For me, I have Iron Man, Ghost Rider, and Hunter. I specifically have two abilities with Hunter and Iron Man that lets me not only double the amount of heroism that I currently have, but it also lets me double the amount of heroism that I'm going to gain over the next 2 turns, which therefore lets me proceed to just go off with Ghost Rider because he's a very heavy heroism character, and because he sometimes deal damage, he can heal himself. Yes, through the use of things like Drain Soul, but I can also back him up with the Hunter's healing abilities, and I can back him up with block coming from Iron Man. Really, what about you?
pretty much every time I have a choice, I've taken the Hunter and Captain Marvel because like in my experience, Captain Marvel just mows through things. If I when I well, I obviously always have to add a third. So usually a third is whoever I can figure out. I really like two card effects. Knockback. Knockback is almost always good, and quick. Uh, quick is one of my favorite card keywords. So anything I can do with that.
Yeah.
In terms of card combos, the hunter has a card that allows your next hero card to not be discarded, and you can play it right before a hero combo card, which means if you have enough heroism, you can play the hero combo card twice in a row. And
Yeah.
it is real nasty.
Yeah. All
So,
right.
Now, can I
So
say something right quick?
yeah, go ahead.
always.
Revealing, I heard you say quick. Is that something like haste?
Quick Quick means that if you get a KO,
Uh-huh.
then you get your card playback.
Okay. It,
Which, yeah, I'm sorry.
is there a haste though, like where you haste the party?
What I mean,
Everybody.
what's the
Haste is
haste effect?
haste is like you go first. Is that what?
Well, that's like first strike, but is there something to speed up the attack phases?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't believe. See, so I can say this: I don't believe there's anything to speed up the attack phases, but the combat essentially moves as fast as you do.
Okay,
So,
Yeah,
got
that's
it,
a
so
fair way to say it.
got it.
yeah, yeah. So if you know what it is you want to do, you know what to set up, how to set up, like where to do it, it'll move at the same speed you are. But if you're taking your time trying to figure out things, that's perfectly fine because the game allows you to do that.
Got it.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
but
At least in the very beginning, like it's very your turn and then their turn and then your turn and then their turn. There's some stuff that becomes modifiers later that changes that. I don't want to like spoil too much.
Okay,
But
got it.
there's stuff that comes up later where there'll be like characters that will kind of act in the middle of your turn and stuff, but for the most part,
mhm.
absolutely, it just happens at your own pace. So if you want to take 10 minutes and think about a move, like I tend to do, then the game waits for you.
The
Got you.
characters will make snippy remarks though about you taking a long time.
Right.
Yeah. But we're gonna move on with the current with the rest of the block that we have, and then we're gonna answer like the rest of the questions we have towards the end. So as of right now, I guess this question will be primarily for Johnny and Deeper because we've already talked enough. So why are you two covering Midnight Suns?
You want to go ahead, Deeper?
um, because again, it's part of the Marvel brand, and I'm committed to anything and all things Marvel. And again, it's in my favorite style of genre of game, a tactical RPG. And again, I like the diversity of characters that were included. It was mentioned earlier by King Greek that both Captain America and Hulk serve as tank characters. So I think it's cool just to have, and I hope some of the other characters have specific roles they play, and they give you an option so that you also can choose, if you're a Captain America person and you want him on your team as the main tank, or if you're a Hulk person, don't really like Cap, and you want him on your main team as a tank. I just love the diversity of the different characters they gave us to play with and the unique abilities. So that's pretty much why I covered the game, because it's probably my favorite style of game with my favorite type of heroes.
Johnny boy?
Great. For me, it's kind of like the first time somebody put chocolate and peanut butter together, right? It's
Good.
one of my favorite worlds and universes, being the Marvel universe. It's been there since I was, a kid, and all the gaming lineage I have, like I said, all the way back to Sid Meier, Microprose, into Viraxis. It's just part of who the DNA of who Johnny Rocker is, right? So it's the perfect pairing, the perfect team making their perfect game, and I just could not be any more excited for it. So
Okay. Okay. Now, what type of content do the two of you hope that you're, gonna be able to make? Because I mean, clearly, I mean, like you've seen it with me in revealing like Midnight Suns has essentially been a fresh, like a breath of fresh air for us. That like it's allowed us to like expand our horizons and be able to experiment more with other things. And we both haven't seen our own shared, goblet of success. So I would say, yeah. Again, what type of content do the two of you hope that you're going to be able to make, and what are you trying to go for? You can start with Johnny this time.
for me, it was I had a terrific wake up call towards the end of last year when I made a personal decision that I was going to step away from Avengers for a while. Um, that there were just things that happened with that game that it made me realize like I'm gambling my entire, especially since I don't do YouTube or anything, I'm gambling my entire future as a content creator on one game, one set of developers, and the decisions they make with the community. And no matter what my opinions are on it at all, if the community in general is not happy with that game, it greatly affects my viewership. So I was in a situation where it's like I would routinely draw 100, 125 viewers. We were qualified for partners. I was just trying to get clear of any raids, waiting on that to happen. Things happen, and then the first time you stream another game, and you might get 20, 25 people in your chat, and all they're saying is, "Hey, man, you gonna play Avengers today? You gonna play Avengers today?" It's like you learn the difference between being someone's favorite Marvel streamer and their favorite streamer, right? So this
Oh,
past year has been it's been a brutal grind that I'm so thankful for that I went into variety, and we climbed from 20 to 30 to 50 to, we were rocking over 100 playing, Gotham Knights. And it feels good to be coming back to the superhero community, right? Because I feel like our tight knit group that was formed around Avengers, we've all kind of grown out and branched into other things, and it just feels good to be able to plant a flag in a Marvel directory again, right? And for me, it's like coming home, right? So I'm very excited to see names I haven't seen in a while, and just kind of like it was mentioned earlier, seeing what all these brilliant creators and our friends can put together with this game, and we're gonna see some mind blowing stuff. So
hey, King Greek. Sorry to interrupt. Do you allow links in your chat? I want to make sure we get a link to these guys stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, like like no, go ahead, most definitely. And like
Okay,
I
I
just
just want
like,
to, didn't want to post it and then immediately get timed out while we were talking, and
yeah, no, you're fine. Now, like
that
now
would have been
before
real awkward.
before we get to deeper, I do want to touch on that most definitely. The reception for Midnight Suns has been very positive. Yes, absolutely. Also, you can find Johnny Walker on Twitch, and you can find Deeper Depths not only on YouTube but on Twitch as well.
Okay,
And
I
we're
gotta get.
doing
Yeah,
right.
sorry, I'm still working on all the links. I didn't
No
have them
problem.
all up, but anyway, keep going. Sorry.
We have what's the word I'm looking for? That's it. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No problem, Johnny. So like, sorry, didn't mean to hold you up. We're gonna go ahead and like we can close out pretty soon. But
that's all good.
there have been a lot of great and wonderful content creators that have been covering this game, and like we have revealing, you have Christopher Odd, multiple other people's whose name I can't think of right now because I think most of them have primarily been like companies and publishers, but we've had a lot of like a lot of other creators that have just been working to the bone trying to show off this game in a positive light as much as possible. So I would like to give a personal shout out to all of those guys. Especially if any of you are watching this video right now, a shout out to all of the Midnight Suns creators that are definitely trying out something new and stepping into a new lane. And I hope nothing but the best of success for all of you because we're all sitting at the same table. We all got to eat, right? And I nothing but respect and praise for everyone that's trying their best, including the fine people that are currently sitting here with me on this podcast. So moving
Yeah.
on to deeper, let's go ahead and hear what you have to say.
Again, I did not get a test copy or early copy of the game, so I may not have all the answers of the directions that I want to go. I'm kind of figure it out along the way, but I do look forward to again streaming a different type of genre of game. I did build a big part of my YouTube audience off of Gotham Knights and Marvel Snap, which were both two different, completely types of games. So again, playing Midnight Suns, because I'm not one of those people that box myself in, unless it pays me to. And now one particular game said, "Hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna sponsor all this stuff," then yeah, I probably would just lock in on one particular game. But I just finished streaming Evil West on my channel, and we did some content with that. That was a great game, and I just want to say, as a content creator, and this may be common knowledge, but I want to say this for those that are watching, like, we are in no way in competition with each other. I mean, there is enough people out there to build your brand and to be successful in your own lane. Even if you're creating content for, the same game, your content is still exclusive to your channel, and people can't get that anywhere else. So I believe we can celebrate the success of one another. Congratulations, King Greek, on hitting 2K subs recently and still growing. And I see Midnight Suns has made a huge difference for the channel, and that's a great thing. But you never know unless you try. So I'm looking forward to streaming the game and seeing what content I can create out of it as I understand it and actually get my hands on it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it's from one of my favorite universes, just like Johnny said. So hey, sky's the limit. And like I said, I'm just honored to even sit at the same table as established creators like you guys, because I've been streaming now for a year. Last month was my 1 year anniversary, and I've
Hey,
learned
congrats.
so much. Thank you so much. I've learned so much along the way, and it's come from just hanging around people who are already where you're trying to go. So you guys are colleagues of mine, and like I said, I really appreciate all of you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
Johnny, you got time for one last question, do you? Or do you have
Yeah,
to
man.
go?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So,
Johnny was like, yes, and that was it. Bye.
okay, so what are your hopes? Okay, so wait, really quick question. Have you beat the game yet?
No, dude. I don't know if Christopher Odd was like joking about this or not in the dev chat the other day, but he said he hadn't made it past Act One. And
Yeah.
I legitimately, with all of the time that I put in the game, didn't make it past Act One because I just got like all of my time. I was like, I'm just gonna do the side quest, and then yeah, oh yes, okay, so yeah, we literally stopped at the same part, and I was like, I'm gonna do this side quest, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this side quest, I'm gonna do this just forever. So
Yeah.
that's all I did. So there are characters that I have not played yet because they haven't unlocked yet.
Okay.
So,
So Christopher did stop after falling Scarlet Witch. That's where he is currently. Now, I can't say too much, but treat this game like it's a Marvel movie. Treat this game like it is an MCU movie. That's
oh,
all I'm going to say. Now,
watch out for spoilers. That's what you're saying.
yes. Also, also pay close attention to all the cutscenes. Now, I'm very excited because like the game, because again, I have damn near 200 plus hours. The game so far has set a very clear precedent for where it seems like it wants to go in the future. I'm more than excited. I am more than excited. I want to know what you guys are. What are your hopes in future? What are your hopes for the game in the future, and what would you like to see? Let's go ahead and start with Johnny.
I tell you, if you go to arguably one of the best franchises Firaxis has ever done with XCOM, um, you talk about quality DLC, right? Like when they put out a DLC package, it's awesome. You know what I mean? It's almost like, especially with XCOM 2, it's almost like an entirely new game. So, my personal hopes for this is that the game sells well, right? They do good with season passes, the numbers are there, the engagement stays high. I hope that the game has like an infinite grind mechanic, like to where, like, the only thing I didn't like about XCOM 2 was the timer, where it's like you got this many hours to do the thing. Like, let me go do random combat as much as I want to level up, or like a new game plus where it just opens up random battles where you can just go do whatever. And it's like, if they do that and we get a healthy dose of DLCs, I'm so excited. This will be a game I play for years, 100%.
Deeper. Let's go with you.
I think it's a good sign whenever a game has not released and has already committed to DLC. Like we've already got the 4 characters that they're going to be dropping when the first DLC happens with Midnight Sun. So, I say, hey, if we could get something every 90 days, that would be great. I think every quarter dropping content would be awesome. Just to know that revealing too much has played the amount of time he's played and still hasn't gotten out of Act One. That's what I'm talking about. Like that's That's my type of game when you can just spend time doing side stuff and not even progressing through the story. I mean, I'm all in. So
Okay.
I think that the future is bright for Midnight Suns.
Mm.
I think that when it was initially developed, they developed it with, you know, long-term goals in mind. So yeah, and again, like Johnny Rocker said, if you know anything about XCOM, the DLC is like they've already planned probably what, you know, the next year or 2 years will look like.
Hmm.
Can I add one thing real quick? One
Go ahead.
thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Always.
just a little quick side note. This is just a personal request, and I think Deeper can relate to this too. If we have any friends from 2K here that have anything to do with when the Rainmaker codes are going to go out, if you want to make an extremely large group of content creators happy, please consider pushing the codes out tomorrow and not
Yes.
on launch day. Because you've
Yes.
got a lot of people like Johnny Rocker that's got horrible internet, and
Yeah.
if you push that game push those codes live at 7 a.m., I've got 4 hours of downloading, right? Before I can get out and start creating content.
Mhm.
So, it would just mean a lot to me and a lot of folks. Like, I'm in a lot of group chats, man, where people are like, man, you got the code yet? You got the code yet? Man, I'm stressing. I got the code yet? Like, and then if somebody jumps date, they do whatever, then you just don't let that person have a code anymore. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So,
I agree.
but that's just a personal request. Would be awesome. Thank you so much.
I agree. And one
Hey, thank
last
you,
thing,
Christopher.
if I can say one last thing, I did a podcast once on vows in video games, and I just want to celebrate the fact that I can see the support that Miss Too Much lends to revealing too much. That means a lot because my wife is on all of my streams. She's behind what I'm doing. You know, like we've been married for 20 years, been
Oh
together
my
for
goodness.
23 years. And that's like super, super important, you know, to be with somebody that lets you play your games in peace. So
Right?
I love to see that. So revealing too much, miss too much. Y'all got a good thing going. I'm cheering for you.
Yeah,
Mm.
she is. I mean, she's literally and physically, like literally behind me, on every stream because she's in there working as well. But there's no way. There's just no way I'd be able to do this
Come on, man. Yeah.
without her. Absolutely not a single chance. So
Mm.
yeah, thanks
So,
for saying it. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
just to remind everyone that I am the youngest here, I still have yet to find that special one for me. I believe that's a good place to end it. Where like
Yeah,
I mean, like
let's let Johnny get out of here. He was I mean,
yeah,
Absolutely.
I gotta get to bed too. I'm way past my bedtime.
yeah, we went like
Right.
20 we went like 20 minutes over time, but I feel like that's okay because it
Absolutely.
was a very good conversation. I hope everyone has had a very enjoyable time here with the podcast. We had some technical difficulties at first, but once we got the ball rolling, we were on a roll. You can find
Absolutely.
Johnny Rocker on Twitch. His link is in the chat. You can find Deeper Depths on YouTube and Twitch. His links are also in the chat. And you can find Revealing Too Much in Me as well on Twitch and YouTube. And for the people that are going to be watching the VOD of this, I'm going to have the links to their channels in the description below. So you can go ahead, check them out, tell them I sent you, give them a hello, what's up, all of that greatness. And we will catch all of you guys in the Moon Knight. Thank you for stopping by.
Peace.
Thank you for the show, guys. I appreciate it.